can walk because she's in a wheelchair.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. As I said, don't worry about you and all that. Anyway, guys and girls.
Anyway, very long.
Oh, you're right. Right, it is 2 minutes to 7 o'clock, guys and girls. A little bit of a rant today. Friday, 29th of March, 2019, at the time of this video. It's a little bit of a rant, or a little sarcasm rant, I should say. Alright, so I'm just reading that. About apparently the UK coming up with new laws, apparently, for cyclists. Which actually, I'm a cyclist myself now. I'm just starting to cycle and all of that. And sometimes I try not ride on the road. I like riding on the pavement. It's much easier for me because of my disability and all that, me being disabled. And I'm really nervous on the fucking roads entirely. Now, apparently new cycling laws and extra fines are being lined up for the UK roads. A new report has revealed dangerous and careless cycling punishments have been recommended by legal experts for cyclists who cause injury or death. Under the new laws, riders would face life in jail for fatal accident. Now, I'm just wondering, actually, because you would think, actually, if you're riding a bicycle yourself, and then suddenly you're riding on the road, and then a car comes along, technically the car would be more dangerous because he's got four wheels and it's a tough lane, so if it smacks into you, you end up dead anyway. So there seems to be more careless car drivers than there is people with bicycles and mountain bikes than anything. And also motorcyclists get knocked over on their asses quite often as well. I've seen so many videos with bad car drivers. To be honest, I got an idea for this, guys and girls, actually, right? Because I'm a cyclist, I love cycling, and I'm trying to get more healthier, and I'm finding it very beneficial for me just to ride everywhere as much as I can. I ride down to Sainsbury's sometimes every couple of sort of days or something just to get healthier and all that. But what I find, right, as soon as you take off, as soon as you start putting number plates, car plates on the back of cyclists, or try and get them to do driving lessons for bicycle lessons like you do with cars and all that, and have it insured and all that kind of crap, and then pay tons of money on there. You think, okay, we've just bought a bicycle, say for 800, 900 or 1000 quid or 1000 quid or so, whatever price you buy, or maybe you paid 50 quid for it, or 200 or something. Whatever the price you buy for your cycle, for your bicycles, right? Then you say you're riding on the pavement because there's no cycle lanes. There's hardly any cycle lanes in Western, and then if there is cycle lanes in Western, Supermare, it's really thin. That means basically it's not enough room for the pavement, and then you could end up hitting the curb, and then once you hit the curb you end up falling off your bike, and then you end up getting run over by the car which is just coming on the side of the road, and then you're pretty much dead because you just got killed by the car driver. So
it sounds really funny.
And they're very thin. They're very thin.
No, what happened to me yesterday? We went down to Sainsbury's and you had to push me in my wheelchair because I can't walk. Oh. And then as we come in, we're on that crossing.
Yeah, the crossing, I know.
And then all of a sudden this car went straight in front of us. She goes,
yeah,
sorry. I know.
Yeah.
So I couldn't, she could admit it. I was on the crossing.
So I'm going to say there's more and more idiots in cars than there is cyclists, guys and girls.
Yeah, didn't see me. I was on the crossing.
Well, she wasn't looking both ways. She was just more looking to the left side rather than her driving side.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you would be sorry you bloody ran me over.
Well, if you'd been dead, she would have been in prison and all that. It's, oh, no, she's dead now. What are we going to do? I'm going to spend the rest of my life in prison.
Yeah, and I'd come back bloody haunt them.
Yeah. So, what's this? So, new laws could land you with £100 fine for driving. What's this? Let's click on there so we can have a look, see what the rest of this is. Apparently it's done by the Sun, this. They put a lot of propaganda stuff in there as well as the other newspapers. I hardly read them. But I'll tell you what, it's like the government putting more laws in. So it's just new laws could land you with a £100 fine for driving within 1.5 metres of cyclists, and riders face new dangerous cycling penalty. Ministers are considering bringing a new law in. Oh, ministers, obviously, the government ministers, to do with the House in Parliament.
I'll tell you what, why don't they, this is a very good idea, why don't they ban all cars?
Yeah, let's ban all cars.
All taxis.
All taxis.
All bicycles.
Bicycles.
All
Motorbikes.
motorbikes.
Wheelchairs.
Yeah, wheelchairs as well,
Yeah, they can be dangerous. Oh, no. Oh, can't have those on the road, on the pavement.
Don't forget, what else is it? Buses.
Buses, yeah.
And
carbon emissions in there as well.
And why don't they make everybody walk? Everywhere they want to go, walk. And you don't even get a bus.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget trains. Ban trains. Oh, people get killed on the tracks nowadays.
Oh, yeah, they
ridiculous.
do. Yeah. I mean, you could be standing there waiting for a train to come in and someone accidentally pushes you.
And I'll bet you the train drivers don't get fined for running those people over on the first place on the tracks. And say, oh, we could have pulled up and could have stopped the train and stuff and running those people on the tracks. Don't worry about finding them. They're all right and all that.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that, but I mean, someone could accidentally
get pushed onto the track. Yeah.
Or accidentally fall onto the track.
Or fall onto the track, yeah.
Accidentally.
Yeah, accidentally. But then the train driver comes along and runs them over and finishes them off because he didn't say. Well, then is. You think you'd be looking up above to make sure there's no one there. And say, oh, look, we've got a jumper there. Let's quick stop the train before he gets run over.
Well, he wouldn't be able to, would he? Because you go at a certain speed.
Oh, I don't know. Nowadays, a lot of trains now have, like, sort of that instant stop stuff, like braking and all that. Now, I prefer riding on the pavement. Now, what they should do, really, actually, is just ban all the every vehicle. Actually, ban my mum in her wheelchair as well, because she's a maniac on the pavement.
I'm safe. I just sit there and you do it.
Yeah, I push you, but then you end up getting trolleys while we're in Sainsbury's and Tesco's, and then you almost ban into people. It's a lazy.
I can't
I have to ban you, I have to get you fined.
Yeah, but I can't see them.
Yeah, so you should have gone to Specsavers, so people who can't see and all that, and going to Tesco's or Sainsbury's, and they're like pushing the trolley and all that.
I went to
I can't see. Well, what we'll do, we'll fine you because you nearly ran that little old lady over and is walking down and going to get her cup of tea and her pension and all that.
Well, she looks older than me. Anyway.
Anyway, so what is ridiculous? I don't like riding on the road myself. I try and ride on the road, but it's nervous for me on there. And I'm trying to get more exercise. I'm trying to keep more healthier. And I like cycling. I'm finding it really nice to cycle on the roads because it gives. Well, not on the roads, but on the pavement stuff. But the thing is, the roads, when you do ride on the roads, the cars come so close to you. So it's the cars that are idiots on the road themselves. Because when you're driving on the pavement, you're driving, well, not on the pavement, but on the actual cycle lane. The cycle lanes, right? Basically, the cars get so flipping close to you, right? They almost end up knocking you. And actually, a couple of weeks going back, right? I'll tell you why there's more, like, idiot car drivers on the road. A couple of weeks going back, there's like a roundabout just down the road here. And we had this car just coming down really fast in a 10 miles per hour sort of road area. You're only allowed to do up to 10 miles an hour. I think 10 miles an hour in a certain road area with loads of houses around is quite still dangerous. They should have done at least 5 miles per hour. Done it slow just to be careful on the safe side. But what they do, you see them coming down the road here, past all the roundabouts and stuff, goes right round the roundabouts about 2 or 3 times. And then here's this one bloke that says, oh, I want to die and all that. And basically he's trying to end his life. And what he's trying to do is trying to take some other bloke with him and stuff. And then he ends up going right round the roundabout 3 times, about 50, 60 miles per hour around a flipping roundabout. It's ridiculous how many people are like. To be honest, there'll be a petition then. I'll probably end up have to get a petition done then once they do that. they get like licenses done and stuff. Because do you know how many people's going to be out of a job, guys and girls, through cyclists who cannot afford to pay a license for cycling on the road and stuff, or getting a number plates and all that kind of stuff, or going through these lessons and all that. It's going to be ridiculous, and the amount of people won't be able to get exercise and won't be able to, and they'll just be overweight, and there'll be more obesity in this country than anything. The reason I'm actually riding now and cycling now is to try and lose weight and try and burn the calories, and it's helping me. It's really helping me. It's giving me more confidence. Now, I'm not one of like these idiots with cyclists. Obviously, you do get idiot cyclists on the road, but that's on the road. And I prefer riding on the pavement because I know there's a lot of people who walks on the pavement, but you know where they are and stuff like that. So obviously, when you're riding straight down the road, if you see someone, you just let them by. So it's like the other day, I've got a few videos on my YouTube channel, guys and girls, where I'm cycling and I let people by and stuff, or some people let me by and all that. And I make sure I have enough room between the person walking on the one side of the pavement and me on the other side of the pavement, so I can give them, the oncoming walkers and walk buyers, enough room for them to get by and stuff. So I'm not like in the way or not actually knocking into them. So I'm actually careful riders. And that's the thing is, there's a difference between careful riders on the pavements. And I remember a few years going back when I was about, I think it was 10, 11 years old. I had this police officer come up to me because I was riding on the pavement. And he was asking me basically, oh, why are you riding on the pavement?
A 10-year-old kid.
And I was like 10 years old at the time. And I'm thinking, there's got to be some better laws than this shit going on, to be honest, guys and girls. There's got to be a better system than actually screwing over the people who are actually giving the money to cyclist companies and bikers, cyclist companies and all that, where you're buying the bikes on, right? It's going to be putting them out of jobs as well. So what will happen then, less people will be, there'll be less riders on the road, because people won't be going through a system like what you do with cars and all that.
I believe that those who drive cars should do it every couple of years to do it, to see that they're capable for doing it.
Yeah.
And I also believe that when you get to a certain age, right, you should have your license took away from you then.
Actually, cars shouldn't even come near cyclists for at least 10 foot. You should have that, when you're like in the cycle lane, there should be at least, I would say, 5 to 10 feet apart from each other.
I mean, working out, right, Prince Philip, right, he handed his licence in, didn't he? Was it a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, and he turned that woman's car over.
No, at the age of 97.
Yeah, but he turned that woman's car over. He could have killed her. No. And then he wouldn't have gone to prison anyway, because none of the royal family ends up. No, because they don't get punished.
I'm not trying
it's one system. No, it's one rule system for them.
I don't really about him.
No, I know, but
what I'm trying to say is that everybody, I believe, should give their license up at a certain age. Say about 50, because let's be honest.
Actually, better still, why don't we just ban cars, motorbikes and cyclists, right? And then that's it. Everybody be happy. Let everybody fucking walk. Let everyone walk.
Going by that there's a lot of people who become ill at these ages.
Yeah, but let everybody walk. It's more exercise for you.
And I believe that they should give their license up at a certain age, or they have to be seen every couple of years to make sure that they're safe.
Alright, so drivers could face £100 fine if they fail to give cyclists enough room. Oh, drivers. So if they don't give enough, fail to give cyclists enough room when overtaken, then they could end up. But there's on about talks as well. They're putting number plates on, or they want to put number plates on bicycles. Reflectors on bikes. Let's have a look. Because they wanted to find out who the idiots are on the number plate. Let's have a look. 4 other bikes there is a strict 2-row rule, and for all bikes registered after... Oh, that's motorcyclists. Where is that? Let's have a look. Let's put this in. Oh. Cyclists. To use number plates slammed by cycling. Here we go. This is the latest one, I think. Calls for cyclists to use number plates to be placed. Slammed by cyclists. Oh, it's been slammed by cycling and motoring groups. Because it's messing everybody up. But they don't want it. A lot of cyclists and companies don't want it. Motoring groups and cycle campaigners have united to condemn any move to install number plates on bicycles after a survey found a majority of people backed the idea to encourage responsible cycling. Well, the thing is, responsible cycling, I'm a responsible cycler. I cycle and I'm a really good cyclist. I've never knocked into anybody. I've come off my bicycle a few times, not the one now, but a few years ago back. But I've learned from that to use my brakes and all that kind of stuff, so I'm actually a lot better at cycling now than I used to be. But it's all about a learning curve and all that. Cycle campaigners have said the huge cost of implementing a system would fall to taxpayers. So it would, here we go, implementing a system, so they have to come up with a new system, new rules. That means you taxpayers out there would have to cough up more money for us cyclists on the road. So in a way, you may as well just ban cyclists, ban drivers, ban taxis, ban cars of all types, because of carbon emissions as well, and that's killing the actual planet as well. So to be honest, I think actually the best way to do it is make everybody become a cyclist, and even let drivers in places like that. And they say, well, what about taxis? People need taxis. Well, make them walk. Simple. Get them exercise. Jesus, we need to try and get this planet more healthier. How can we let people get more healthier when we're not saying, right, you walk, do some exercise. I'm doing walking, I'm doing exercise, I'm putting my body in a much better place than it used to be, and that's by actually encouraging myself to do something. So I've actually forced myself to it. In 2014, Sussex Police and Crime Commissioner Katie Bourne said cyclists should have the same identification as drivers. They can be prosecuted for jumping red lights. Well, actually, no, to be honest, if they're jumping red lights, they shouldn't be doing it anyway. They should be having the same sort of thing as car drivers and stuff. No one should get that.
When I was young, what I used to do...
But I don't think it should be implemented at all. No. Everybody should know you shouldn't be jumping a red light in the first place.
When I was young, right, and I had a bicycle,
yeah.
What I used to do, I would go across...
Yeah, you get off the bike and walk over to the other side, yeah.
That's right, and I'd say bye.
Yeah, well, that's... Yeah, but the thing is, people don't like that either. That's the thing, not many people like that, where you get off, you go onto the pavement, you walk off there, you go over to...
Because you do it properly, don't you?
Yeah, but then... That's what drivers are getting pissed off about. They're getting pissed off at people getting off their bicycles, walking across the road, and then going off to the thing. And I think, okay, yeah, I get where they're coming from with that, but...
But as a bicycle person, you do it as a safety, don't you?
For jumping the lights, a change in the law would be required for number plates to become mandatory on bicycles at the Vehicle Exercise and Registration Act of 1994. In other words, putting more strain on cyclists now.
Mind you, if you think about it, well, you better put more police on them. Yeah. Because I tell you what...
Oh, well, no, they can't put more police on because they're cutting down the police as well now.
Well, come on. How are they going to see everything that's going on? These car drivers, these bicycles, motorbikes...
Well, that's where they got all the cameras now, haven't they?
I mean, God... I mean, years ago when I was young, you used to have the police on doing all the walking.
Yeah.
Or riding bicycles. You didn't see all these police cars.
Right, Sam Jones Cycling UK campaigner said, given the frequent calls we have for cycle plates in the UK, it's not unsurprising the government has looked into the associated costs and I've come to the conclusion that a registration scheme would overweigh any benefits. Even if it would not be costly exercise, it is the bureaucracy of registration which is a real fear on practical level. Cyclists
and get
cycles
more money for the MPs.
Yeah, more money for the MPs.
Yeah.
Then we've got the BBC as well, where they're getting more money of for TV licence. They're getting people's TV licence money, and then they're going into pubs and getting drunk.
But then you work this out. That's not fair. Everybody has to pay a TV licence, yeah? But if you're an old age pensioner, which I'm not me, because I don't yet, because I'm not a certain age. Though I'm an old age pensioner, I'm not the age so I can get a free licence. But to be honest, they should make every single person in the UK pay for a TV licence. I mean, all they got to do is pay, what is it, a couple of pounds a week to pay up that mountain.
No, but apparently the BBC have been exposed recently because apparently what they've been doing with the taxpayers' money, or the money that goes to the TV licence, they've been going in pubs and having champagne and all.
Oh, God, I wonder.
And having these, like, luxury meals, guys and girls. And I think it's absolutely disgraceful.
You'll be saying it's having lovely, lovely holidays as well.
Well, I presume they would be as well. That's the BBC for you.
That's me. I can't even go to another town for holiday.
Yeah. And then they're actually saying about the workers and all that as well. The people who go to work and all that. Saying nasty stuff about workers. People, the working class. The ones that actually pays them money to the BBC. Absolutely disgrace, to be honest. Right, what's this? Even if it would not be costly exercise, it is the bureaucracy of the registration, which is in real fear on the practical level. Cycles change owners very frequently, and we are more likely to belong to children than to adults, unlike motor vehicles. This makes registration a nightmare to administer and adhere to. So that means even kids won't be able to go around cycling with their bicycles, and when their parents are teaching them how to cycle bicycles. So sorry kids, can't buy you a bicycle this Christmas. You're going to have a licence. Yeah, I know you're about 2 or 3 years old and you want to go and ride the bicycle, and we were going to take you out on the bicycle today, but we've got to take you down to the registrar office to get you a licence plate. So yeah, so you can ride on the road with us. Right. This was then likely to put a newcomers or occasional cyclists off cycling altogether. Apparently, so they said basically it put them all off entirely. The cyclists. The survey conducted by YouGov on behalf of Halfords also found that 45% of people support installing dedicated cycle lanes on all roads. Dedicated. So dedicated cycle. Yeah, but then again, you've got those roundabouts as well. So that's dangerous. There should be like a sort of a roundabout for cyclists and not just for cars. So if you're a cyclist, because if you've got cars and you're going right round a roundabout, I've been round a roundabout before, and I'll tell you what, when you're riding your bicycle round the roundabout, that is dangerous. Especially if you've got an idiot car comes right out and then he jumps and goes right in front of you and he's not giving the oncoming traffic enough room, and then he's just going across the roundabout, then you end up getting bloody run over and all that. So roundabouts are very dangerous. Halford's spokesperson said, "We wouldn't support anything that would be a barrier to cycling." Well, it is a barrier to cycling. They're putting a barrier to cyclists to say, right, if you don't obey by these rules, it's another form of dictatorship again, but for cyclists. And it's absolutely disgusting. Toronto inducted by bylaw in 1935 requiring residents who owned and used bicycles on the city's highway to buy a licence for their bikes. It was a complicated system involving copious amounts of paperwork, visit to the police station and bike inspections, and was repealed in 1957. Yeah, so basically they basically rejected it after a while. In 1957, done a repeal about it. So basically they got rid of it. And if this happens again, they'll just get rid of it again. There'll be a petition for it. Probably loads of people putting their names down
Mind
for
you,
it.
your dad.
And there's more taxpayers are going to be paying out for that. You've got people who's smoking cigarettes, got taxpayers paying for those as well.
Your
and
dad.
Alcohol and all
Your
that.
dad asked someone to go and get chips for us from the fish shop on his bike.
Yeah.
And guess what he done?
Oh.
He rode straight into the back of a police car.
Oh. Yeah.
Which was standing. The police car was standing.
Yeah.
And he just had to pop into that fish shop. And instead he got his bicycle and went straight into the back of a police car. I won't forget that.
So yeah, Switzerland's system of bike registrations was only disbanded in 2012. Prior to that date, a self-adhesive Velo Vignette sticker was compulsory and covered cyclists with third liability insurance. So they actually insured them. It was scrapped due to its high cost and administrative burden, and the fact that 90% of the cyclists were found to already be covered by private liability insurance. Japan has a compulsory registration system in place for bicycles that is meant to deter bike theft and make it easier for stolen bikes to be reunited with their owners. We will tell you what is true and you can form your own views. Yeah, so basically this is done by the Independent, apparently, this one. So what do you guys, girls, think? I mean, I know you got drivers on there as well, probably be watching, but I think, to be honest, this is going to kill off a lot of cyclists, and if it does as well, I think there'd be a big petition to get rid of cars off the road as well. Actually, because if they start doing that, and then cyclisting, I'll tell you what, there's going to be a lot of cyclists going to get together, and I'll be one of them, to get together to do a petition to get the cars off the road, or the danger. Because I've seen some of those ones where they go onto the pavement and end up running people over, some of these cars, because you get some drunk people drinking and driving, and then end up running people over in the car. So you do get a lot of...
Happen then, don't you? If people have to do it about bicycles, cars, right, get them off the road, and motorbikes, you know what'll happen?
Yeah.
What they done years ago, there was the ones with the motorbikes, and a big massive demo about these helmets that they had to start wearing, and there was a big competition about it, and I reckon what they'll do then, they'll have all the motorbike boys come around, and they'll start a petition. About the motorbikes.
Yeah, motorbikes, bicycle. I mean, whether you're a motorbike enthusiast or a cyclist, I'm a cyclist myself. I'm finding my feet now on the road and stuff, and I'm liking it.
Big massive demonstrations. One about the cars, the one about the bicycles.
I know, they'll get all of them together. It'd be like that demonstration what happened today to do with Brexit. And actually, guys and girls, we're being portrayed as well with the Brexit messing people over. And I think it's a disgrace of what's happening at the moment. And I don't think we're never going to get out of the EU. We're always going to be stuck as a hostage to them. They don't give a heck about anybody. They don't give a hell about anyone at all. All they care about is themselves, and the dictatorship that's going on in this country is an absolute disgrace. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about that at the moment for this time being, for this video, but this is just mostly about bicycles. Do you think it's a disgrace them trying to put number plates on the bicycles? Do you think it's going to basically kill off the cyclist industry? It might even do... I mean, I know they got it with motorbikes, but motorbikes is different because that's got an engine and that can actually fully run people over and kill them.
Don't you think they should ban cars?
Yeah, they should ban cars because that gives you poison.
Cars in towns as well.
Yeah, towns, yeah, cities.
Yeah, where people's got to go.
Because that's giving you carbon monoxide poisoning with the carbon emissions. So we could end up doing a big massive petition of cars. And trains. We'll do trains. We'll get rid of the trains as well because the amount of carbon emissions that comes out of trains as well. And buses as well. All that kind of stuff. Absolutely trying to kill the planet. We're trying to save the planet by cycling because you don't get any carbon emissions coming from the cyclists.
I mean, the trains...
So we're actually green. We're greener than anything.
When I was young, right, the trains, they had to do it with coal. And they keep putting the coals on it.
Yeah.
That's how they used to go.
Alright. Anyway, guys and girls, it is the Friday the 29th of March, 2019, and it's 7:30 in 2 minutes.
Oh my God, and I bet we are boring everybody.
Well, I wouldn't say boring, because this is a rant, and this is how a rant should be done. Anyway, guys and girls, cheers for watching. Let us know what your comments below. Like, check out some of my videos. I ride on the road sometimes, and I ride on the pavement, but I prefer more comfortable on the pavement. I'm not doing any harm to anyone, because there's hardly anyone walking on those pavements. And then when I do stuff like when I walk across the road, I'll get off my bicycle. I'm a bit like Boris Johnson. I like cycling and stuff. I haven't got blonde hair like Boris Johnson, but I do want to get into politics at some point. You can
always dye it.
Yeah, but I do want to get into politics at some point. And I think, actually, this could be...
Could you dye your hair blonde?
No, I don't like blonde hair, thank you very much. And actually, if the goes to shoving too much, and they do put like a licence or stuff like this, I'm going to have to get into politics, and this might actually be one of my sort of political debates, and actually try and get people to actually get rid of this licence thing in the first place, because it's actually putting a ditter on those taxpayers who are paying taxes and are trying to get more money, but yet have to pay more money into this system. And you would
also like to know what sort of things the people would like.
Yeah, well, what do you guys and girls want? I mean,
in this world.
Yeah. What do you mean in this world, on this planet? But I mean, what would you like to happen in the UK? I know we want Brexit. Everybody wants Brexit. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. But is there any policies you would like in the UK to happen? Let us know in the comments below. Cheers for watching, guys and girls. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode.